Hi everyone. So after a little bit of a hiatus, I haven't posted in a few days because I have a really bad cold, and so I'm really stuffy today, and I apologize for how gross it must sound, but that is what happened. Um, so anyway, one of the things I'd like to talk about is my Mandarin journey. I've been learning Mandarin for a number of years. I still can't speak it or understand it, and the reason why is because to me, in my American brain, I've been listening to English most of my life. I learned Spanish relatively quickly, but Chinese is really tough because to me, all the words sound the same. China has a monosyllabic language and a tonal language, which means that it's the same word, like sure has a lot of different meanings, and even sure are like three different words because of the tones that it is said with, and I apologize for not being very good at it. But I've tried a number of different programs. I'm not going to name any names because my intention is not to badmouth anybody, but they just didn't work for me. So now I am learning, I'm just going to take the HSK journey. So I am going to just take them one by one, HSK1, HSK2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they have a new HSK, so if you do look up the HSK, you got to be careful that you get the new HSK. And the new HSK versus the old HSK. The old HSK was actually much more simple, and they're requiring quite a bit more knowledge to pass each of the levels now. So I've got HSK1. I've looked at a lot of different books. This one seems to be one of the best because it includes the new version, and it's also just very summed up. So this is HSK1 by LingLing, and it says Learn Chinese Vocabulary for Beginners. These are 500 words in Chinese. There's not really any use I'm going to get out of learning Chinese. I just enjoy it. It's just one of my hobbies. Like, why do people watch football? What are you actually getting out of it? I don't know. I'm not really getting anything out of it. I just enjoy it. It's one of my hobbies. So when I look at these 500 words, I basically know pretty much all of them, if not by just sight, by at least with with the reminder. So I'm pretty much know all of them, but I want to get them just really good in my mind before I go take that certification, because it's like, okay, I've taken online exams and I'm definitely at least HSK2 level, but I want to do the HSK certifications right. I want to start at 1, 2, and the tests themselves are cheap. I think it's less than $50 to go take the test. But the problem is that they're not available in a lot of areas, and even the areas that they say that they're available, they're not really. So like they say that they're available in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I contacted St. Cloud, Minnesota, and they said they no longer do the HSK certification. So the closest one I think is in either Washington or the state of Virginia. Or the state of Washington or the state of Virginia. So those are far away. But I'll try to, I don't know. I guess it's something I want to do. And since I've tried to learn Chinese so many different ways, I figured why not just go to the source, because this was actually, if I understand correctly, designed by the Chinese government. They should know about Mandarin. They've got a lot of people learning Mandarin, so they should know a little bit more about exactly what is the best way to learn it. And so, yeah, a lot of the words in the HSK1 are very common words. And so there, HSK1 should be pretty easy. It has the numbers. I think Chinese numbers are a little challenging because you have to kind of add in your head when they write it out. But other than that, I do enjoy it. I find it very fun. So if you're trying to learn Chinese and if you've tried other methods, then maybe HSK is for you. The other methods that I've tried is, I don't want to name the specific programs, but I've tried some programs online. I've used Duolingo. I'm like 100 or 800 some days streak on Duolingo, so I know enough Chinese, but I can't understand it and I can't really speak it. Like when I watch a Chinese movie, I still need the subtitles. Definitely need the subtitles, though I can understand what they're saying sometimes, but I need the subtitles. And then the other things that I've tried are translating songs, which is very enjoyable. And then when the songs come on, because I listen to Chinese songs on Spotify, very enjoyable. I love a lot of the songs that they sing. I just think they're so beautiful. But it hasn't really helped me with day-to-day language. I do have a tandem partner in China, and when he speaks in Chinese, I know a guy and I know a family actually. When they speak in Chinese, I can't understand it. But he's been very nice about it, and he actually speaks fluent English, so it works out well. But you know, the Duolingo hasn't brought me to a level of fluency, even though I can get a perfect lesson all the time. I don't have a problem with that, and I understand everything they say, and I can repeat it back, and I can select the characters. That's no problem. So I can read a little bit in Chinese, but it hasn't helped me reach any fluency. The other thing I've tried is translating a book, which is also very fun. I've got a couple of books. 3 Bodies. That's a book that's a movie that's even available on Amazon Prime. But even translating that, the nice thing about that is that once you learn it by reading a novel of sorts, it's pretty much stuck. So the words that I've learned by reading the novel are very stuck in my mind. They're very firmly in there. And I think that's because the brain, when you're using that information to read a book, the brain says, oh, this is important, I should remember it. So it's very helpful, but it still didn't get me to a level of fluency for the time input, because I've got a job, and I've got a lot of things in my life. I've got, family members to take care of. So I don't want a process that takes a lot of time. It has to be like just, 10, 20 minutes a day. And that's what this book has brought me to, is that I can just spend 10, 20 minutes a day going through these and memorizing them one by one. I try to learn 10, or it's like I do know these. Didi, as younger brother, I know these words, but I don't know them to the point that I feel confident going into the test that I'd be able to pass first try. I want to make sure that I've got the words, that I can use them in a sentence, that I know the numbers, that I can read a number in Chinese and I can write a number in Chinese. I want to know that all very well. I want to have the grammar rules down. You have a couple grammar rules in the back of this, so it's not just the 500 words that you need to learn. And in Chinese, the 500 words, that's some characters. The thing with Chinese is, since all the words kind of sound and look the same, you can't really write them in the characters that we use for English, because if sure, they're all different level words and they're all spelled SHI, you can't really differentiate them when they're written in pinyin. For me anyway. So I've tried to read pinyin, and it just is so hard. You kind of have to read it with the Chinese characters to really understand it. So that's why I think to get to a level of basic fluency, you need to know 300 or 3,000. I wish it was 300. 3,000 these characters. And so I'm not sure how many I know. I know quite a few, but I certainly don't know 3,000. And by the time, if I pursue it to HSK 6, I don't know how many I'll know by then. But I should be at a level of fluency. They do consider HSK 6 to be a level of fluency. So that's what I'm going to try, and that's what I'm working on. I'm on page 26 right now. And let's see, where did I get? I stopped at word 74 this morning. So I enjoy it because it keeps my mind going. I have a very busy mind, a mind that doesn't like to have not a lot to do, because otherwise I can be depressed or crabby. So I have to fill my mind with a lot of stuff. And so that can be tough when you got a job and you got family, but that's what I do. I hope this is helpful, so like and subscribe.